Happy Mid-Autumn Festival, guys!
就借着月光，再与你对望，不管落魄风光，我都为你守望。就让这月光。
How did the Mid-Autumn Festival actually begin? We eat mooncakes, we admire the full moon, we gather with our families, but very few people actually know how it all started. Over 3,000 years ago, during the Zhou dynasty, people believed the moon influenced harvests and seasons. After the autumn crops were gathered, they held rituals to give thanks and pray for the next year. Back then, it wasn't a festival at all. It was a ritual, a kind of worshipping. By the Tang dynasty, the celebration began to take shape, and the term Mid-Autumn Festival appeared. Royals and scholars, upper-class people held moon-viewing banquets and wrote poetry under the full moon. In the later Tang period, ordinary people began to take part, though not yet enthusiastically. In the Song dynasty, the festival was celebrated more widely among the general population. Early forms of mooncakes appeared, lanterns lit up the night, and families gathered to enjoy the full moon. While the Tang celebrated mostly at night, people in the Song dynasty sometimes celebrated through the entire day, even drinking and feasting from midday. By the Ming and Qing dynasties, reunion became the central theme of the festival. Family members and friends exchanged mooncakes and seasonal fruits as gifts, and mooncakes officially became an important festive food. Compared to the romantic moon poetry and wine-filled celebrations of the Tang and Song, the focus has shifted toward kinship, affection, and family ties. Today, different regions in China celebrate Mid-Autumn Festival in their own unique ways, including worshipping the moon. Some families still set out offerings to express respect and gratitude. Eating mooncakes, round in shape, they symbolize reunion, sharing, and completeness. Fire dragon dance. In places like Hong Kong, people light dragon frames covered with incense and dance through the streets to pray for peace and good fortune. No matter the form, the meaning has always been the same: connection, blessing, and reunion. So wherever you are today, across the world, as the full moon shines over the sea, you're here with me. Happy Mid-Autumn Festival. 中秋快乐，花好月圆，人团圆。
Also called Mooncake Festival. These are a box of mooncakes. It's on par to Christmas. It's celebrated in China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and I think Vietnam. So in Cantonese, it's called Zhong Cao Ji. In Hakka, it's called Bak Nguyet Ban, which means half of the 8th month, right? So let me explain. So Mid-Autumn Festival is on the 6th of October. So why is it celebrated? It's because it's where you harvest all your crops. And this moon is meant to be the brightest, fullest moon out of the whole year. And you're thinking, right, October is not the 8th month, it's the 10th month. And it's because if you go by the Chinese New Year calendar, which is the lunar calendar, February the 12th was a full moon, which means it was Chinese New Year. So from then, if you count 8 months, you get to October, and the middle of it, it's the 15th day of the 8th month, and this year it falls on October the 6th.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am now in the Mooncake Festival hosted in the hometown mooncakes in Wuchuan. Now behind me is the very unique tradition here in Wuchuan called Piaose Parade. Now Piaose actually literally means floating colors. Those children dressed up in historical and mythical figures, and they are lifted up above by metal frames hidden inside them. And when they go on the street, when they parade, it's very unique. Take a look. Lantern riddles, or 猜灯谜, a classical and typical festival game in China. So people write witty riddles and hide them on the lanterns or put them on the lanterns, and everyone tries to guess the answers. It's fun, social, and perfect to celebrate under the full moon. I can't figure out any one of them. It's so difficult. The origin of mooncakes goes back over 1,000 years ago. People used to offer round cakes to the full moon to show gratitude and to worship. Now, later in the Yuan dynasty, secret messages were hidden in a mooncake to start an uprising. Of course, today, mooncakes are no longer about rituals or wars. It's about family and reunion, being together under the same moon.
Hi everyone, today is the Mid-Autumn Festival in China, my favorite Chinese traditional festival, aka Mooncake Festival. It's a festival full of meanings, togetherness, homesickness, reunion, and moonlight. But this year I'm spending it here alone in Melbourne, and I bought myself a mooncake. Even though I'm so far away from home, we are all looking at the same moon. And tonight I will look up at the sky, thinking of home and feeling grateful for every moment under the same moonlight. I've always loved Mid-Autumn Festival, maybe because autumn is my favorite season and I was born in autumn. When I was little, this day was full of joy. We would eat lots of fresh fruits, carry colorful lanterns, and play with friends at night. It was simple but so happy. I wish you all a happy Mid-Autumn Festival. What's your favorite festival? Let me know in the comments.
This is a very traditional mooncake. But actually, young generation don't like to eat the traditional mooncake. So they have some brand, they produce some super cute or there's a super good flavors. Something like this. This is a matcha flavor. This is my favorite. I love it. This is like a rose flavor. So if you're in China, would you like to try the mooncake?
Hello, my friend. Now is China Mid-Autumn Festival, in traditional festival. Made here the fruit, some fruits, and this one blessed for moon. Good business, good body, and good family. Oh, my friend, my boss, everything good. Thank you, support Cody.
Hi my friends, I'm Max. Today in China it's the Mid-Autumn Festival, Zhongqiujie. I want to wish everyone a happy holiday. Honestly, this is my favorite festival in China. Why? Because here I've had the most delicious mooncake.
Happens when 1.4 billion people all go on vacation at the same time. Well, that's exactly what's happening this week in China. The whole nation is taking 8 days off for Golden Week, October 1st through 8th, to celebrate the nation's founding. And everyone is hitting the road. What are the most popular Guoqingjie travel destinations? Shushu breaks it down. First, if you've never been to the Great Wall, it is absolute peak during Golden Week. As one of the 7 wonders of the world, the Great Wall delivers an experience like no other this week. You've got the impressive engineering, centuries of history under your feet, and literally millions of Chinese friends all walking the same path together. What's not to like? On the other hand, if you're interested in city and nightlife, then Shanghai is your go-to place for Golden Week. Make sure to stop by Nanjinglu and the Bund, where you can take in unobstructed views of Dongfang Minzhu and truly appreciate why Shanghai is the most populous city in Asia. As the Chinese like to say, people mountain, people sea. And finally, if you're looking for a quiet romantic stroll on the beach while watching the sunset over the ocean, then Shenzhen Dameisha is a must. During Golden Week, there are millions of people that descend on this southern coastal city, and you have to experience the uniquely Chinese tradition of xiajiaozi, where everyone enjoys the ocean together like boiling dumplings in a pot. So, have any of these travel destinations piqued your interest?
Bro, holidays in China are terrifying.
False, or at least misleading. I live in China and we just traveled during this holiday season that he's mentioning, and we didn't experience any crowds. It all just depends on where you're traveling to. The online hotspots right now are Chongqing, of course, Beijing, Shanghai. These places, of course, you will see crowds. But the thing is, like you mentioned, China has over 1 billion people, but it also has many, many cities. These cities have hidden gems, wonderful, beautiful areas to visit and see and explore. So the trick is, if you want to visit China and explore China without the crowds, literally pick any of the other cities. Pick a city you haven't heard of or a spot that's not viral on TikTok, and it's perfectly fine to travel there. I just traveled from Nantong to Taiyuan. We went to a beautiful ancient city. There weren't any crowds. There weren't any crowds at the airport or at the tourist attraction we visited. It was a 4A tourist attraction, so that's another way you could go about doing it. Maybe check out the 4A tourist attractions. But yeah, China's a big place, lots of places to see without any crowds. Like and follow, please.
1.21 million people were safely evacuated, but one unlucky man got beaten up because he shouted he wants to kill someone. In Nanchang City, China, a massive National Day fireworks show drew about 1.21 million spectators, 4 times the size of the Dunkirk evacuation. When the show ended, people were leaving in an orderly way with the help of police. At that moment, a shirtless, tattooed man started shouting loudly in the crowd, holding a long, unidentified object. People immediately became cautious and moved away from him. Then a man in a red shirt rushed forward and grabbed the object from his hand. Right after that, a man in black ran over and kicked him to the ground. Within seconds, the crowd surrounded him and quickly subdued him. Everyone thought they had stopped a dangerous criminals in the cradle, protected public safety, and became heroes for the night. But the next morning, when the news came out, everyone was shocked. The so-called suspect was actually a local second-hand car dealer. That night, he had gone to watch the fireworks with his brother-in-law's family. On the way back, he got separated from his nephew, Wu Wenbin. So he stood in an open area and shouted in his local dialect, "Wu Wenbin, where are you?" Unfortunately, some well-meaning citizens misheard it as "Wu Wenbin, I'll kill you." The phrase "where are you" sounded very similar to "I'll kill you" in their dialect. Because the weather was hot and he wasn't wearing a shirt, the weapon in his hand was just a $5 worth of folding fan he had bought at the square. And the scary tattoo on his body, just a barcode. One netizen left a perfect comment, shirtless in a parked street, shouting in dialect, tattoo on display, waving around something that looks like a weapon. All the negative buffs stacked up. Honestly, getting beaten by helpful citizens wasn't entirely undeserved. 1.21 million people went home safe. One innocent man got hurt. That's more dramatic than the million evacuation. Follow me, an Eastern perspective to see the world.
Alright guys, look at these beautiful lanterns type. I don't know what are they, but in what is inside them, but they are so beautiful. Look at this. This is Chinese Mid-Autumn Festival, like and also the national holidays. So look at this beautiful street. This is how China looks like, guys. And look at this flag. Welcome to China, everybody.
Hi guys, today we're at the temple because it's Mooncake Festival, official Mooncake Festival today, so which is 6th of October. So many people.